Wow. So there's a lot there, actually. It sounds like you're talking about 3 different vehicle reimbursement programs that are an alternative to these taxable allowances. Mm-hmm. And you talked about the IRS standard rate program, where you just pay an employee who drives 1 mile, 67 cents per mile. Mm-hmm. You talked about the 463 publication that allows you to pay an accountable allowance, and how by just implementing some good accounting practices for your employees' business driving, you can actually take that same allowance, that same $600 allowance, and make it tax-free. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, given that those 2 former programs are in some ways limited by the 67 cent ceiling for tax-free car allowance payments, insofar as those programs are limited, yet there is also this favor program that allows you to go above and beyond the IRS standard rate if you so choose, mm-hmm. and to pay your employees a very rich program. I think it's important to note that for all these programs you can, and we'll get into vehicle profiles in a moment, but for all these different programs you can assign to your employees a car worth as much as $62,000. This rate is this figure rather is updated every year, but this year it's $62,000, and you can base your reimbursements on a car that costs that much, which in the United States today can get you pretty much any luxury sedan you like. Mm-hmm. You can get a whole number of different Mercedes and Audis and BMWs for $62,000. So there's ways to make these programs really generous. And first of all, before you even think about making these programs great benefits for your employees, there's also just the recovery, and this is really important to drive home, the recovery on each one of these programs of that 30 or 38% tax waste that we were discussing earlier. Mm-hmm. With just some simple accounting practices, and by selecting one or several of these tax programs, you're immediately recapturing hundreds of dollars per month, mm-hmm. for every employee. This can translate for some of our customers to an immediate savings of hundreds of thousands, or even over $1 million per year. Yep. In total program saved, and whether you return that money in the form of reimbursements to your employees, or you keep that money for different business objectives that you might have within your company, whatever you do with the money, it's better saved and put back in employee pockets and company coffers rather than needlessly handed over to the tax man.